I think my wife is planning on ruining her little sister's wedding. I need advice. My wife's younger sister, who she has a lot of drama with, is getting married. And recently, my wife has been acting really secretive about things, like her phone and going out with her friends a lot. Also, she'd normally want to show me what she plans on wearing to big events like this, but with her sister's wedding, she just says she wants it to be a surprise. I want to trust her, but with some of the context, it has me worried, so I'd like some advice on how best I talk about this with her. Now, my wife has always said her parents play favorites. I don't think that's true, but it's how she thinks. And when it comes to her youngest sister, she has played a few pranks in the past, so I'm worried she will do something she can't take back. For context, my father-in-law is a bit of a self-made man. He has a good amount of money now, but that wasn't always the case. There was a time, in fact, when money was tight, which was when my wife was a little kid. From the stories I've heard, for the first 10 plus years of my wife's childhood, money was tight. However, around that, my father-in-law's business took off in a big way. So suddenly he had money, and as a result, he wanted to give his younger kids the stuff he hadn't been able to give my wife. To be clear, since having money, he's always tried to give my wife stuff as well. But the contrasting childhood has always been something that's been hard for my wife. It's not his fault that he couldn't afford to give your wife anything when she was young. Plus, it doesn't help that thanks to another bump in the business after my wife was already in college, my father-in-law was able to help the younger kids out a lot more than he had my wife. Me and her were already dating by that time, so I can tell you, my father-in-law did a lot to make it up to her, like paying her student loans off. Did the same for me as well, by the way. Also, when we got married, he gave us a house as a wedding present, so my perspective is he's a very generous man. Hate to say it, but your wife sounds kinda just like a little sus. I fail to see how she has a problem with her dad.
He's doing his best, you know?
My wife has difficulty seeing all the things a man does for her, plus our son, by the way, so sometimes she can get a little jealous. To be clear, most of the time this isn't an issue. My wife is a great mother to our son. She's very supportive of some unusual hobbies I have, and we make time to do stuff as a couple. At least that used to be the case until her sister said she was getting married. And ever since then, a lot of all that good stuff has stopped, and it feels to me like this is all we talk about. I don't like where this is going, honey. Honey bunny. For a bit of context, me and my wife had something of a quick wedding. My grandfather, who had always been more of a father to me, was dying. So I wanted to get married quickly. As a result, the wedding was kind of a small event. Personally, I enjoyed the day. However, my wife's sister had a long engagement and her husband-to-be comes from a big family. So the whole winter wedding is shaping up to be a big event, which in turn is creating some comparison to our wedding. Ugh, brother. It never fails, honestly. Like, as exciting as weddings are, and, you know, they're such a big deal, people place like a lot of importance on them, and people also compare. There's always a little bit of a silent competition, you know, which is unfortunate. But it's a fact of life. People compare. I expected this might lead to a few arguments with my wife, but recently it feels like all she does is compare our wedding to what her sister is planning and talking about how unfair it is. I don't love that. I don't love that at all. I mean, didn't she also like get a house as a wedding present? I don't love this. She's even compared me to her sister's soon-to-be husband a few times, which is a bit hurtful. Oh no. Especially considering the man has gotten really distant with me over the last year, and I actually would have said we were friends before. We stopped doing a lot of stuff together. We used to make time for date nights or family days, but now she's always ending up spending more time at work or going out for fun days with her girlfriends. This last part is why I'm starting to get worried. I have nothing against my wife's friends, but they can encourage her worst self sometimes. Plus, there's the fact she's already started being very cagey with her phone. Also, I should mention I talked to one of them yesterday and they lied and said they hadn't seen her recently, which is really starting to worry me. And again, I say she keeps telling me her dress for the wedding is a complete surprise. Now, this could be all in my head, but I'm really worried she's planning to wear white or something like that. Our son is going to be the ring bearer, so I don't want him seeing his mom do something like that. At the same time, I don't want to accuse my wife of something if this is really all in my head. So could people on here please tell me how I best talk to my wife about all these concerns I have? My guess is she is spending a lot of time with her friends because maybe she's finding solace in being able to like complain to them. Maybe they're yes men. Maybe they're kind of like excusing the behavior. I wish I could say that this isn't a common thing. It's not common to like plan to wear something awful as like revenge for not being the favorite child. That's not common. What is common is weddings bringing the worst out in people, especially women. Especially women. Like I've seen it happen on both sides, but like women really, really do compare. I'm sure we have some petty ideas in the comments. Let's see. If you two are traveling together to the wedding in the same car, when she shows you what she's wearing, if it's inappropriate, just refuse to go. Your wife needs some serious therapy. What you're describing is incredibly immature, petty, and vindictive. I have to tell you, I would have a hard time thinking my wife could be that potentially awful and still being her partner, at least without therapy. The bigger problem here is that you think your wife is capable of doing this, and that's not based on nothing. You have some experiences. I can't even imagine being with somebody that jealous and vindictive. Yeah, unfortunately, it really is women. I'm all for being a girl's girl here, but unfortunately, women get jealous. People get jealous, but especially surrounding weddings, women get jealous. So I think it would be beneficial to find out exactly why, the next time she kind of says something a little bit sus, let's like get to the bottom of it. Get to the bottom of like how she feels. It's not good how she feels. I can always sense when, friends feel this way. It makes me like pull back a little bit because nobody wants a friend or family member that is secretly like jealous. Unfortunately, it is a very human thing to be jealous. We just need to be like making sure that we handle our emotions correctly. It's not her sister's fault that she has a lovely wedding. I highly doubt that she's doing all of that to spite her sister. But yes, I do think that we need to talk with the wife. I honestly also fail to see why she thinks that she's not the favorite child. Like in situations where parents kind of like come into a little bit of money, I feel like a lot of the time there's always this like need to make everything fair. Based on what you've described, it does seem like her dad did a lot to make up for the fact that he wasn't able to afford this big extravagant childhood. He paid off your student loans. He paid off her student loans. He bought her a house. Those are not small things. He really did set you guys up for success. Yeah, I mean, I really fail to understand where these feelings are coming from. If they are related to money, these feelings, I think she's a little delulu. So we do have an update.